Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Planet Coaster series here in Austin's Wonderland theme park. As we get really ready to start putting together a new section. Now, you see me placing down a river rapids, and this is going to be kind of a rough mapping of it. So what you're seeing with how it's being developed or being routed right now isn't exactly going to be the final version. I just want to make sure I get something kind of in here to take up a pretty good chunk of space, because we are going to put on the new a new coaster into the park as well right here in this back area, and it's going to be quite a larger one. So I just want to make sure I have this space already mapped out and taken care of, so that way when it does come time to put the coaster in, I can actually try to fit it around this ride, or really work on fitting basically like a little plaza style entrance section into it. So you do see me take on, at least I would probably say, a little bit larger of a plot size. What you're seeing right now for the rapids ride isn't how it's going to be at the end. It will be redone. You'll see that at a later time though. This, like I said, just mapping it out for the sole purpose of getting a space kind of reserved, is what kind of taking a look at it. So I really just did want to see why these lines kept getting put in there. I never really did figure that out, to be honest with you. But it ended up being, if I would go back through and hit the button again, or hit the track piece again, it would get rid of it. I'm not sure what that has to do with any of it, but for some reason, just a little glitch in the game. Gotta deal with some things like this happening every now and then. So we get that set up, and I get those out of the way. Like I said, it is going to be changed, so don't think that's going to stay the same. But what I wanted to put in here is gonna be a big boy. All right, this is gonna be a big dog. His positioning, we are gonna pretty much keep it right here. We'll slide him around, give or take just a little bit. So here we are looking at putting in one of these. They call it the four-seater lap bar thing, whatever. I'm really wanted to put in a big style coaster, right? We're going 330 feet up in this thing, and I really wanted to get a good size drop. This is kind of like a flagship coaster, all right? It's going to be the biggest in the park. It's going to be the fastest in the park, obviously. And so here we are. We're going to get this coaster built as we try to really weave this thing in. I would say get a solid track going for this coaster. That's going to be the biggest thing with these longer rides, because you are going to have so many hills, and you have to get so much speed taken off each section. I mean, how often can you make a hill be fun and entertaining, right? So it's one of those things you have to look at, trying to fight against. It's what makes it a little tougher, I'll admit, and then getting it kind of decorated up. So I really wanted this thing to kind of take up a lot of the space. So this is essentially going to be the back. It's going to go to it's the back boundary of the park, theoretically. Now, I know obviously the plot of land, it goes a lot further back, but I don't think we really need to go anything beyond this coaster. So that's just my thought on it. That's all I'm going to say about it. There, I'm just looking at the lift hill, because I forgot with these cable lifts, it gets a little wonky with the whole cable lift after coming right out of if it's not coming right out of the station. So I really tested it. I wanted to make sure that, yeah, it would work. And then here, we're going to go through a lot of these little segments like this where we take little quick rides on it. I really just am just testing to see, one, the viewpoints of it. How much speed have we really taken off as we come down through these moments and all that fun jazz. So I do end up testing it quite a bit. Yeah, and keep in mind, every time we build, you know, pieces of these coasters and all that, things are going to change a lot in them. So just the layout you're seeing right now, we are going to be making changes to it. You will get a POV ride of this thing at the end of the episode, so I do implore you to hang on till that time comes, right? So, like I said, with these, I struggle with just the hills. Couple turns here, there, hill. Couple turn here, there, hill. Couple turns here, there. And I know, yeah, I think I have the track limitation stuff off, so yeah, I can make these things go inverted. But I don't really want to, is kind of the key here. I didn't really want to do that. So right now, I'm looking for a way to bring this thing back towards the actual station while being able to still run off a good chunk of speed, because that's going to be the key, is how much speed can we really get taken off, and trying to find, you know, a proper working amount that would allow us to slow this car down. But even now, as we're coming down ready for an ending section, we're still at 120 feet off the ground, and this coaster has got some damn pace to it too. So I do put in a couple little brake runs there and get ready for the connection to come into the station, but it's just having to get to that point. I do kind of like that sharp little downturn coming off of there, right? So we come up around from the little helix maneuver and then hit that steep little drop right there. That it just does feel actually pretty good to see that. So now I'm trying to bring her back around, right? So that's that's the key, trying to bring her back on around. And like I said, I really wanted to get speed taken off, but man, it was hard to pull in this situation. So I don't get as nearly as much speed taken off as I would like to have it. But we make sure things work and function. And we're going to go through and do a lot of smoothing on this coaster and all that stuff too. I don't know if I captured that on camera or not, but we will get a lot done with it. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off here and let y'all just listen to some tunes, finish watching this ride kind of get taken care of, and see some of the decorating that goes into it. I will check in with y'all here in a little while as you see kind of an update to it with the queue line. Looks like a little station house getting going, the queue getting going. Got a lot of stuff happening here. I will join in back with y'all here in just a little while. And I am back as we continue on with this, the queue line setup. I did like putting those walls up there on the queue to kind of cover just those regular little boards. I think it worked out pretty well. Here, I'm looking to put some rocks down in this space. One, it's already rocky as it is. And it is just a dugout little area, and plus there's a lot of rocks that are on this ride, essentially. So I wanted to get a lot of them kind of put in, at least in this section, the little drop down as we turn into the lift hill. I think it does make it look that much better. Although I will admit, with these rocks of this kind, the Mediterranean rock, man, that stuff is bright as hell, you know. It really is. And sometimes when it gets that bright, it becomes a little too much. So I do put some of this cabbage brush in and around there to kind of cover that up a little bit to kind of dim the brightness of the rock. Put some stuff on it. And just because I figure at this point, after you've torn into it, your little plants will find ways to creep into the spots to grow out of. Everybody knows this. So that's why I'm putting those in here. The queue isn't going to be like all that much in terms of, say, theming. This one, I'm looking at naming this thing, I think Forest Runner is what we go with, because we do basically have this thing running through a forest. And we will create a sign for it. And so that's kind of what I wanted it to feel like, essentially, is, you know, you're going through basically like a little hike through the woods, through a forest section, all on the entrance queue, going on this hike, and then all of a sudden, boom, here's a point, you end up getting chased by a predator or something, think of it like that, run into old Mama Burr, and that's what the Forest Runner is. Boom, it takes off, you're on the go, it is full on, get out of Dodge, hoofing it, on this coaster. So that's kind of what I was thinking with the feel of this. I don't know if it came off as successful. I think it did. I'll say this, for me it did. Yeah, I started adding in some of these yellow trees, and I don't mind them. I think they can look good. I don't know, the colored trees just always bother me. I don't know why. They always have. It's been that way from the very beginning, with the coaster games and the colored trees. I've never, I don't know what it is about a yellow or a purple tree or what have you. It just eats at me. I can't explain it. It just does. So we're going to finish up some of the station work here, because we do have to kind of close these edges off, especially where this turnaround is. Now, everybody knows you can go through and kind of square off the pathing, the path or the queues. You can do that. I'm just not going to, in all reality. It's not going to be my thing. So here we are. I'm putting in a little roof over this turnaround section just because I do. In all reality, I think this turnaround section would probably be like the perfect place for, like, say, a picture booth. I think it would be, but I don't know if everybody else feels that way. But I think it would normally be a small little picture booth, you know, where that's all they sell is just the pictures from the rides. I really wish they had done that. Planet Coaster. I always remember that being one of the big comments from Planet Coaster 1. And now that I think about it, Planet Coaster 2, that's kind of a letdown in it. One thing you're hoping to get, a little bit of picture rides, ride pictures. But we can make our own. Now that they have billboards and stuff, I need to figure a way to go do that. We're going to make some changes in this park after it gets kind of done. I think once we finish it, we'll do the park tour. And then every now and then I might make updates into a building and change it. We'll post that. But I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I may finish it off and just, next thing you know, the ride and the park just goes kaput. You know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. So part of doing all this decorating and all this stuff is, like I told you, making the queue line feel this certain way. But really, it just does make it look nice, look better. But this one actually has a purpose to all this stuff. Going on a little hike through the forest and all that kind of business. I did make these up front things smaller just because if you're standing there looking out, I didn't want you to have to look over all the trees to see the lift hill. I figured that would block the view some. We are going to put a sign there, but I wanted everybody to have still a clear view of that lift hill while they're walking around. So I didn't put any of the trees too much up front. So that way you could still see everything as you walked up to it. And that's something that I think truly builds excitement as we come around here. Looking at the layout of the coaster is the viewpoint, looking at it, seeing that train go all the way up that lift hill and over that first drop. So it's one of those things that I think it looks pretty good. So we're about to jump into the POV of this ride. You can kind of see how the rest of this area is laid out, which we will finish in another episode. On that, I'm going to go ahead and hop off, let y'all enjoy this POV without me, just the tunes, and I will see y'all in the next episode, everybody. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and definitely give us a thumbs up if you did enjoy today's video. And hit that bell icon to be notified of all of the content we have here at Champ & Sons coming to the channel. So be sure to do that. And yeah, it's going to be, we're about to hop into this thing. And there we are, going up the hill. I will check y'all in the next episode, everybody. So as always, stay safe. And well, you know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.